True life and music history. The Ants Human Stars podcast. With your hosts, Caleb and Digo. Are you ready? Steady. Go. What do you think is in that fridge right now?
Good question. Because I don't, now that I think about it, okay, I'm going to say bread. I'm going to think
Let me
about,
cut to the chase. I'm just going to cut to the chase. Hold on.
okay. Okay. Nothing. Oh. I can't. So wait, that looked like multiple boxes.
Yeah, there were like
Popeyes.
fries and biscuits and the chicken all in different shells because it's so much. I ordered the family meal, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there's Popeyes and Panama. Of course there was, but now there's more. And
my goodness.
Delicious. And yes, they do have biscuits.
Nice.
They're not missing the biscuits. They're not. It's just like.
Wait. Do they have the honey sauce?
I haven't noticed, but they do have my usual sauces.
Okay. And look, I was just curious. I mean, yes, we can get honey from anywhere. We don't need their honey sauce. I was just curious.
But they probably do. Because I mean, there's everything's, even all those they have like apple pies and stuff, and they have all the random other rice and beans and the shrimp stuff and all that. They have it.
The shrimp stuff. Yes. Nice.
That secondary part of the menu that I never look at. I'm just looking at 12-piece family meal, fries, extra order of biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
I love it. Good stuff. So how's it been?
Well,
are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, it's been good here. I've been mostly just chilling in my apartment. Mostly.
That's okay.
Yep. It's like everything I need is here, including the gym. So you think of a future where it's like a 100-story building and there's like a mall in there and everything is self-contained to this building.
Yeah.
And I'm having that pseudo experience here. Also because there's a supermarket across the street. So I feel like I never even leave.
You don't need anything. He's like, everything you got is right there.
Is right here, right in this block. But I do get out to explore the city, forcing myself to sometimes because I get very comfortable here.
Gotta get out. Get some fresh air.
There's that beautiful coastal, what can I like a whole park walk area, with tennis courts and just for people and it's just right here. So that I do make my way out to that, obviously, because it's literally right here. And I do
Nice.
that usually around this time, because then it's not as hot and it's actually the wind kicks in when the sun sets. It's nice.
By the way, are we the same time or how different or? I know I could
I'm
Google.
6:14.
Okay, so you just
So yep.
Fine.
It was, but then daylight savings kicked in, so
So
then we went off
stupid.
sync.
Gosh,
It still happens. It's still happening. Everybody everyone in the world is in agreement that we don't want it,
exactly.
but we can't do anything. We were like slaves to what used to be, and it's not like everything is like, oh well, we gotta get it through the legislation. I'm like, do we? Can we just all like suddenly say, nah? You know, do we need to legislate this?
Exactly.
Does it have to go both houses and the Senate and be signed by the president? Does it all that need to happen for us to be literally like,
Exactly.
nah, we good?
Can they
This is the time. Whatever the time is right now, that's it.
Yeah.
You never change it for the rest of it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Whatever it is, that's it. Like, move on. We don't have to legislate it. We don't have to like write shit.
I'm sure I've told you this before, but I was sitting thinking yesterday, I was just like, the audacity of us that we're just like, we want more sunlight, so we're just going to change the time. Like, who do we think we are? Well, excuse me. You know what? Not we, because it's not me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It doesn't really, I mean, in the summertime, you feel it, but like everybody obviously hates the shit in the winter.
But I just feel like it's just like, okay, well, we got a deal. Like, I know it sucks. Nobody likes that the days are shorter, but like, oh well, like, get over it. There's so many other things to worry about than the fact that like, oh, you have an hour more, and that's the other thing. It's an hour. It's not like this is like, oh, you're getting 3 more hours of sunlight or something drastic. Like, seriously.
And imagine if the ancient Egyptians were to find out that in the future we would blaspheme against the thing that provides everything for us, and we're like, yeah, but it's annoying that when it like
exactly
what the fuck exactly. It provides so much, and it like but like it starts to get dark sometimes, and then well, the Egyptians wouldn't have known anything about that because of the maybe they would have, but I'm saying like, you know, obviously they were more in the equator, but still, it's like, and it's not the sun's fault.
Exactly.
It's the earth doing its thing. It's like moving all around and bobbling and, you know, getting different sunlight.
Look. Da-na-da, da-na-da, da-na-da. That's just the way it is.
Like, meanwhile, everybody in like the north, like north, like Norway, north, are like, dudes, you don't even know the half of it. Like we don't have sun for like months out of the year. You know, you guys are worried about losing a few hours. We're like, we didn't see the sun. Like, you didn't see the sun the last day of the sun, and then you won't see it for months.
Yeah. Or the people who are on the opposite end. I have a friend that I work with at the hospital, and he's originally from Scotland, and he's told me about how, there's a certain time where like it doesn't get dark until like 10 or 11 p.m.
Yeah,
and so,
they do. Yep.
What are you gonna do? Like, change the time so that like it's dumb. It's really dumb.
What you should have done is move.
Exactly.
Those that didn't like
it that much,
just move. Go south. Go north. Go whatever it is. Make it. And honestly, again, it's just an hour. Oh. Anyway.
Exactly. It's just now that's a point that just came to me just when I said it. Like, it's just an hour. Why are we acting like this is so drastic?
And, you know, some places do half hour.
So dumb. Oh my gosh, so dumb.
It's some places don't do anything at all.
I want to be one of those places that does nothing at all.
Arizona, which is in the United States, is like, nah. They decided a long time ago they didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, damn. You know, like it Virginia needs to get shit together.
Agreed. It just needs to be outlawed just everywhere. Like, we're not changing the time. The time is what it is. And you just got to deal.
And it's relatively new. They didn't do this like 100 years ago. It's relatively new.
I think this started like the 80s maybe or something. Yeah, it is.
Not the 1980s. The 1880s?
No, this is like you said, this is like relatively new. Hold on. I'm going to Google really quick because I'm pretty sure began. I think this was like, of course it's giving me.
And there's also the time of like when time zones were created, and then
okay, so you're right.
Time.
It started 1916.
Okay.
Well,
so, but still.
But that was in Okay, so much to look up. But okay, you're right. It was a little. Yeah, it's not that. Okay, it's not that recent.
But it is, and like humanity existed for tens of thousands of
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
and we've
exactly.
survived.
It's
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
only recently we're like, but
It's
that
only in
hour,
like the
dude,
last
we need,
100 years. Yeah,
yeah, we need a little break from the sun's changing, and it's like, really?
exactly. We actually don't. Um.
um. So I have a list of things I wanted to talk about that have been
Okay.
percolating in my world. Um, a lot of hate coming. I am like feeling my feels on some things.
I totally should have. So I went to Comic-Con this weekend.
Oh,
And it was a lot of fun. And so, anyways, that's something that I'm more than happy to talk about.
what is the highlight?
Um, well, there's three things. One, I met David Yost, who played Billy Blue Ranger on the original Power Rangers. Three,
Oh, wow.
two, there was this really awesome author who I saw his book in a bookstore like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and I was like, oh, this book looks cool. But I was like, maybe I'll check it out another time. And then I saw that he was on the roster. And so I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go and just see him and I'll buy the book from him when I'm there. And he turned out to be like absolutely amazing and incredible. Such a nice guy. I'm pretty sure he's Latino as well.
Mm.
He was definitely the highlight. Aside from David Yost, he was the highlight for me. And then my sister lost her wallet. And that was a whole thing. And I have a whole little story about that. So those are the three.
Tell me
The-
how she lost her. What the fuck? What happened?
So, um, uh, what I basically like my point in that is big is I kind of outside of the wallet, but we get there and we're like 10 minutes in. And she like goes to the bathroom because we all had to like go to the bathroom. I went with LaBrice. He came as well. It was me, LaBrice Joy, and then my cousin Michael. He also showed up. He was there. He got tickets. So, we get there. It's like 10 minutes in. We all go use the bathroom after we got signed into registration, got our little badges, and she comes out of the bathroom. She's like feeling her like what I'm missing something, and she runs back in the bathroom. I don't know what she's missing. She comes out and she's like, "Oh, my wallet." Can't find my wallet. So of course I'm like, well, one in my mind, I'm like, girl, um, it's, it's 10 minutes and we ain't even like we haven't even seen anything, but I'm like, okay, you gotta in a situation like this, you need to like try and like just be as calm as possible to think of all right, what's our plan of action? So I was like, check your pockets, check your book bag pockets like twice. Um, and then she was like saying that she was going to put it in her pocket as we were walking to registration. She thinks she dropped it. So we retraced the steps, but didn't see it, and we came back. And so the actual getting to the actual meat of the story. So I go up to this guy who's like working there. Well, the three of us. It's not just me by myself. And I was like, did anybody? It's at the registration table. It's like, did anybody turn in a wallet? We did just lose it, but just in case, did anybody just turn it in like within the last 10 minutes? And he's like, first thing out of his mouth, oh man, well, good luck with that. You're never gonna get that back. Like, And I was like, and I
Wow.
immediately, yeah, just out there like that. And I immediately was like, keep that negativity to yourself. Like, we're gonna find this. We're gonna go check Lost and Found. And side note, it's really interesting because 22-year-old Caleb, even I'd say maybe 30-year-old Caleb, would have like listened, let him like keep saying his stuff, and then just been
wash
like,
over
okay,
that
whatever.
negativity on you, and you would have been like,
Yeah,
"Yep, it's
and
gone
then
forever. Sorry, we fail here."
yeah, or in my mind, I would have been like, that really wasn't cool, but I would have let him finish. I don't know. There's something about I'm so serious. I turned 32, and I don't know if it's that I have less patience or that I'm just becoming quicker with like recognizing this is problematic behavior or a problematic situation, and like we're gonna deal with this really quick and like fix this. So yeah, like I immediately was like, no, keep that negative energy to yourself. We're gonna find this, and then and like LaBrice and my sister George are standing there just like watching me, and then his like demeanor completely changes, and he's like, yeah, like, well, yeah, check lost and found, and maybe somebody turned it in. And I'm like, uh-huh. And then I just like started walking away because I'm just like, why, sir? Why are you coming? And I'm like, uh, part of me is like, okay, we'll give, because this also happened again. We asked somebody else, and that was their reaction too, of like, oh, good luck with that. You lost that. And I'm just like, And again, I was like, no, keep that negative energy to yourself. Um, uh now I was like, giving some grace or benefit of the doubt. I don't know why people feel the need to put their negative energy on you. And I was like, maybe it's partly because people think that's like a way of bonding, and like, oh, let's bond over the negativity. But no, there's better, healthy, productive ways to bond without us jumping to like the negative worst reaction. In conclusion, she did find her wallet. um Someone had turned it in like the end of the day. We just went through the rest of the day, and it was great. We had a wonderful day. She enjoyed herself. I just paid for everything. She froze her cards, which was great. um and yeah, and I just, yeah. um and so she got her wallet back. She was missing $20, but it's okay, she's not hurting for
That's
$20.
always the case. Like that,
Yeah.
and that never fails. And it's just like, that's the payment that you give to the universe to get the things that you wanted back.
It's, you know what? I'm not even gonna say the universe,
Because
that's an asshole who was like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna be
I mean,
nice. I'm gonna be
100%.
nice and return it, but this is my payment to myself. That's not the universe. That's somebody selfish. Who was
It
like,
is
I'm
true.
gonna pay
I mean,
myself.
the universe in embodiment of this one person who, they could have done anything with it. They could have thrown it away. They could have blown it up. They could have taken the whole thing, but
True.
they
True. True.
returned
True.
it, and then were like, "And this is my payment."
True. True. And even though I'm like, you could have left the money, I'm like, look, that's fine. If that's all that was taken, which that's all that was. She got the wallet back, and that way you don't have to worry about getting new IDs and all this stuff.
Because honestly, all of that is worth more than $20.
Also,
Like having to do all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Side note, I almost feel like someone was like holding on to it the whole day, or maybe they just, and not and maybe they didn't do it with bad intentions. I'm totally just like making things up, because again, we retraced her steps. I'm pretty sure she did drop it like she thought, but it wasn't there. And then we just went through the rest of the day. We were there for like 5-6 hours, and literally when we left, I told myself, I was like, we're gonna leave, and we went out to eat. And when we were going to the restaurant, I was like, they're gonna call her, because we went to Lost and Found at the end of the day, and they were like, nobody's turned that in, but you fill out this form with your name, your number, blah blah blah. We'll contact you if somebody brings it in. And so then on the way to the restaurant, I was like, we're gonna get a call, and somebody's gonna turn it in. And it's literally as I parked, we were walking into the restaurant. She got a call, and they were like, "Oh, somebody brought it in." So I do find, I'm like, that's weird that somebody was like holding on, like someone had to have been holding on to that for the whole day. Like there's no,
Well, I can
again,
see that because like there's kids here, right?
Yeah,
Younger
yeah,
people,
yeah.
whatever. So like it might have been like, oh yeah, I found this thing, but I want to go see this thing, so
Mhm.
I'll turn it into Lost and Found whenever we get a chance. And then it's like, where's Lost and Found? The whole like, we got to go to Lost and Found now may have just been delayed. And then somewhere along that route, that person
Exactly.
needed
like,
some money and was like,
we need cash. Check that wallet that we picked up.
I'm just gonna.
Now, see,
They opened it.
That
first.
is a possibility that, yeah, they were just like, all right, well, we're gonna go see the stuff. But my only thing is, there were tons of people around. Like it wasn't hard to find, especially where she would have dropped it. There was a million workers. There was a bunch of like security people that you could go to and say like, hey, I just found this. You could turn it in. So, um, yes, that definitely could have been a plausible thing. Like I said, I don't mean to make it seem like they had some nefarious intent, but it was kind of like somebody must have been like holding on to this all day because we had literally went in, technically from the time that we went into Lost and Found to when she got a call, that was only like 30 minutes. So if we had stayed there another 30 minutes, somebody, 30 to 40 minutes, somebody, I mean, they would have turned it in, and we could have, got it. But so anyways, that was interesting. Moral of the story is, it is totally okay to shut down that negativity as soon as it somebody tries to present it. Like, no, get that out of here. Get that out of here. We're thinking positively. Keep your negativity to yourself, and you can do it nicely. You don't need to be a bum, but yeah,
I would
shut
say
that ish
moral of the
down quickly.
story. I would say moral of the story is keep your shit together.
Well, of course, yes, that's a given. That's a given. But uh, not just if you lose things, just in general. When someone comes at you with negativity in life, like, shut that down real quick. No, we're not. We're not doing that. Keep that to yourself. Everything's gonna be fine. This is gonna get worked out. Um, but yeah, that was a interesting thing. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I met David Yost, who played Billy, the original Blue Ranger on
Mm-hmm.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he was super nice. I got a he signed my pop. He signed my movie, my Power Rangers movie. So now I have two. I'll show you at the end of this. I'll go get it and show you. But now I have two signatures from two Rangers from the Power Rangers movie on my DVD. I have three more to go. Um, and yeah, he was really kind. I have his signature and Karen Ashley, who played Aisha, the Yellow Ranger. Um, I've met them both. Um, but yeah, he was super kind. And then yeah, there's this guy. His name is Jared Melendez, I think. He has a book called Chef's Kiss. Um, a queer like kind of rom com, like Heartstopper type of story. Um, but he was super nice. Like I said, I saw his book in a bookstore. I don't know, maybe like 5 6 months ago. I was like, oh, this looks interesting, but I'm not going to get it right now. Then I checked the guest list and I saw that he was there, so I was like, well, I'm going to go and just see him. And he was super cool. What also made him cool, like the thing that was like, I was like, oh, he's a real one. So he had his book there, but then he had his book with a limited edition cover that he said there's only 500 copies of it and you can only get it like from me. And so that one was a little bit more expensive and I was like, that's fine. So I bought that one. And then again, my sister Joy came over and she was like, oh, I want to get this book. I want to get this one as well, the limited edition. But she also liked the art on just the original. And she was like, like she was like standing there and she was like, I don't know, like, should I get that one? And he was like, you can get that for like $9 on Amazon. He was like, he was selling it for 20 and he was like, just you can get it way cheaper. And I was like, that's really cool because he could have just been like, give me as much money as you want. But
Yeah.
he's like, hey, I appreciate you bought this one book. Go get the other one. It's way cheaper. But yeah, he was super nice. He's part of the community. Yeah, just awesome. Really, really awesome, sweet guy. And yeah, I took a Polaroid picture with him. He signed his Polaroid for me. Yeah, he was just really sweet. So it was nice. It was a great time. Um, I was like, it's always it. I don't know if you've ever been to a con, but I've only been to like these comic cons where so you have different cons. You have like drag cons, you have anime cons that are like specific. Awesome Con here in DC was kind of like an overarching. So it's anime, it's sci-fi fantasy. I mean, Rosario Dawson was the big star, and Hayden Christensen. They were like the two huge stars. But Tom Welling, is that his name? Who played Superman in Smallville? He was there, and tons of other people. The guy who voiced SpongeBob, he was there meeting people and signing art. So, but anyways, it's always like good energy and just a good time, which I equate that to, or the reason I think it's that energy is there is because typically these are all the people who are like this isn't and just hear me out when I say this. Like this isn't an event for quote unquote cool people. This is like
Right.
all the nerds, essentially all the people who are misfits who feel like, oh, they like the things that are not the mainstream are all coming together. And I feel that at least I felt that like all the times that I've gone, it's just this kind of like good energy of like, hey, we're just like having a good time and celebrating the things that we like. What like regardless of what they may be or how wild or crazy. And it's yeah, it's always welcoming to the LGBTQ community. And there were so many black people there, which I was so happy to see, and also Black creatives, and of course other creatives of color. My sister got a book that was done by this trans woman. She's Asian, and I think not her partner, like her romantic partner, but her like work partner, I think is Black and trans or non-binary. I can't, like, she told us, but I didn't see them. We didn't see them, but anyway, so it was just, yeah, it's just great. It's just all these, you know, people coming together from communities that are kind of like, again, quote unquote, the uncool. They're not the popular.
Well, I see it as like also a great way to get to, because like honestly, super famous people that are completely out of reach, I don't necessarily personally would want to meet. I mean, I wouldn't say no, but I wouldn't be like Tom Cruise. You know, he's just this untouchable, you know, super mega god of a celebrity, but that's not the one I'm interested in meeting. You know,
yeah,
I'm interested in meeting all these smaller niche actors or creators that are a little bit more accessible. Like, where do you find them? You know, in these cons, right?
exactly,
And they're
exactly.
accessible.
Yeah,
and I would melt over some of these people more than
yeah. Like, I don't want to go to.
Daniel Craig is huge, but like I would melt for Daniel Craig. But you know, like these huge actors that you know everybody would seem to want to meet are less attractive for me to meet than lesser known or less famous, quote unquote, actors.
Also, speaking of melt, there was this guy who was cosplaying as Link from Zelda.
I'm
this
already
this man. First of all,
I'm already turned on.
wait, you gonna get turned on. You gonna get turned on even more. This man was 6'6". He went as like Link. All he had, I'm gonna show you a picture. All he had was a sword, a shield, and a green little skirt. And I really wanted this man to just pick me up and carry me away, because I was like, oh. But I got a picture with him, so I can forever fantasize in my mind. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I'm just gonna send it to you.
Yeah, just
why am I acting like we don't have technology? Anyways, he was awesome. But yes, I agree that the fact that it's kind of these smaller artists, and also they are smaller, smaller celebrities, but they are from movies or shows that had like an impact on us growing up, or even now. So like David Yost from Power Rangers, like that was huge. That's always going to be huge for me, regardless of if any of those stars become big or not.
Exactly,
like, they're always going to be big to me, because
in the 90s they were huge, right?
Yeah.
Let's say some of them huge, like
yeah.
Jaleel White, all right, let's say
he's actually going to be at GalaxyCon next weekend.
Right? To me, like if I had ever met Urkel, it would have been but it's still the case. I'm older, he's older. I would oh my god, is that Steve? Sorry, Jaleel White?
yeah, exactly.
You know, I would be like heart pumping, I would be nervous and everything, because he's still huge in my eyes, even though in the scale of it, he isn't.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
No one would even know who he was if you're a younger person of today.
Or like LeVar Burton. I met LeVar Burton a couple years at, and just amazing. That man is absolutely amazing. Like, I actually got to sit in and just listen to him speak and answer questions. And anyways, it was incredible. So, yeah, it was just good time. I definitely suggest going to a con if you've never been. It's good times. Good times. There's a lot of this. There was this one girl dressed as Storm, and she killed it. I have to send you that. I took a Polaroid. I didn't take like an actual photo. Then there was this other girl who was dressed as Rogue, and I was like, girl, like, just killed it. Yeah, it was also a lot of anime cosplayers, more than I've seen in the past. Nothing wrong with that. But,
so, to segue and borrow from this, was anybody doing Dune?
I did not see any dunes. Again,
That's
which is surprising because again, this time that I went, I've been to three, two or three other cons in my life, and this one was a lot of anime. A lot of people were anime. Like there was a lot of Demon Slayer. There was a lot of
yeah, that makes sense.
what's the big one? One Piece. There was a lot of
Oh, I would have
that
melted
guy.
with the One Piece section. I would have been hanging out in the One Piece section.
It was really cute. I saw like several little kids. They had like the hat
Nice.
from the what's the character's name? Luffy or something? Luffy.
Yeah.
And the hat and the red little like jacket thing. And yeah, it was really cute. There was also a lot of Spider-Man, which was nice because it was a lot of men in spandex with nice booties. So yeah, a lot of Spider-Punk. If you've seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, that movie in Spider-Punk, there was actually several I saw people dressed as
which
Spider-Punk.
should have won the Oscars instead of
Agreed.
whatever the other one. But
yeah.
That's another upcoming topic. But so because right now, obviously, because we have Dune 2, right now Dune is an obsession. It's a movement. It's gaining traction. Oh, to some, because I haven't seen Dune 2.
I haven't either.
Dune 1. Did you see Dune 1?
I did.
Okay. So I've been talking with some people here who went and saw Dune 2, and they're in my camp of like, I just don't like this. Right?
Interesting.
Okay. And like, I'm deep in that I don't like it.
Okay.
I read the book. I didn't like it. I saw the 80s movie and couldn't watch that. It was like, to me, it was unwatchable, even though, some sci-fi people liked it. And then in comes Dune, Timothée Chalamet,
Zendaya.
And all the money, all the presentation, all the right actors, and it was just not, it didn't give it to me. I wasn't entertained, but I at the same time, I'm like, I'm not blaming it. Because they're using the source material that I didn't like, that I didn't think was that amazing, even though everybody in the sci-fi community is like, Dune, but I'm just like, I don't really like it. And but in general, I mean, it's just like, it wasn't quite the sci-fi affair that that would be so captivating and amazing. And then so I got a couple of friends here who went to see Dune 2, and they were like, it's more of the same shit. And I'm like, really? Damn. But like I said, it's now a movement and people are loving it, and it's talked about. It's in the zeitgeist. And I feel a little left out at like this because it's sci-fi, right? But I'm just like, but I'm the one over here like, I don't like any of this shit of Dune. And I don't like how, as always, like if you saw Dune 1, I don't know about Dune 2, but in Dune 1, I mean, it's just a bunch of white people and a flash or two of Zendaya, and her, and I, people are like, oh, well, it's a commentary over, Israel and Palestine, really, white people, and it's up to interpretation of the original writer saying that, because it does fit, white people coming over and taking over a land that is desert. Okay, yeah, it fits. But
or specifically, they're coming because of spice, which is this mineral.
Could be anything.
If you don't know, it's in the book series, the mineral that they want is called spice. I'm not just saying spice, but and so yes, that whole idea of like white people coming into an indigenous land because of a material, and now they're just going to take it, it can be applied to so many real world scenarios.
Yeah, but as we've talked about, this is fantasy. Well, I don't mean actual fantasy. Well, it's kind of fantasy sci-fi, but it's not real. So you can cast openly. This is a historical thing. It's all made up. So that's why I was saying, like, the whiteness of it is something I noticed, obviously, in the first watch of it. And, that coupled with, you didn't sell me on these characters. I don't care about this people.
Yeah, that was kind of my feeling of it was visually pretty. Like, it was nice to look at, I thought. But, just the way they... And I also think that, sometimes the way films are done, let's say for the last like 30 years, 40 years even, audiences are expecting to like there to be like movement and action. Like, I need it 24/7. Like, I can only handle a certain amount of just kind of stillness. I'll use that word.
Yeah.
But when you're adapting movies from books don't have that same kind of formula that they're following. Like, it might start out with like a little bit of action, but then books sometimes are like slow moving. And so to try and translate that to film doesn't always work. And so I haven't finished that. I haven't read the entire first book, but I read a good portion of it before I watched the first film. And that's kind of the impression that I got, that this works in a book, but trying to translate this exactly from the book to the film is going to come off as very like, this is slow, nothing's happening. And that's not a detriment to the book necessarily, or even the film. It's just like, well, you can't... I know that you want to make this big epic sci-fi Star Wars fantasy, but it's like, well, this particular story, you can't do it like that. And so anyways, I feel the same way you did, that it just didn't do anything for me. Again, I really liked the visuals, but yeah, I was just like, this is kind of just like, man, like you said, I wasn't invested in the characters. It didn't.
And when you juxtapose it to, pop sci-fi like Star Wars, I mean, like, they could be good and bad movies, the ones that have come out within the last couple of years, but you're instantly in it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're instantly like, this character you've never met in your life. You have no idea who this person is, but within minutes of the movie, they do it in a way that then you start to care. It's very simple. You need to give us something of insight to the character that allows us to relate, to resonate. But of course, the storyline is just above us. This is about y'all up here doing this stuff that we, there's no resonation of here and now about us and how we can relate to this story. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
But now again, it's on a runaway train. It's happening. It's like, I'm sure they're going to make many movies, and Timothy and what's her face will be with this for many movies to come, and it'll be a big, huge universe. It's going to make a universe of all this. Universe. It's going to be huge.
Well, I mean, there are like 5 or 6 books,
so there's 5 fucking movies at least to make of Dune before this quietly goes away.
Yeah. Well, I there's so much. Yeah, I'm okay with not liking things that are huge pop culture things. I feel like I'm used to that. So I'm just kind of like, all right, everybody's gonna go crazy for this, and I'll be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, we're gonna get past it. So
if you really want to see a great sci-fi film, go see you don't have to go see it in theaters. It's on Hulu. The Creator. That was a great one. Me and Digo saw it twice. Not intentionally.
I saw, yeah, not intentionally. And then I even saw it again with my parents, and it was still like, like it's the opening scene. They're in bed together. You're getting a little, her, him, and then all of a sudden there's this instant like thing happening, and you're immediately sucked into the plot and you're immediately invested in just a few. They spent 45 minutes into Dune, and I am, in the beginning, I'm like, I'm waiting to be invested. Where is the investment? I can't. I'm not. I don't really care. All these people die. But getting back to the Oscars, so I forgot who won for
Oppenheimer, I think.
Well, Oppenheimer won a lot of things, but for the animated, it should have been something else than it was. I forget.
Oh yeah,
what
it should have been the Spider-Man. I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Who, what, when.
But I've been talking a lot about Billie Eilish lately because I have been forecasting her win.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
I mean, it was obvious, but I was just like, because I was rewatching all the Daniel Craig's, and I get up to No Time to Die, and she did her project on that. And
did she win an Oscar? Yeah.
Yeah, she won an Oscar for that, and it was only a couple of years ago. And she wrote that in 2 weeks. She was forced to, because the original timeline, they were late in asking, and they needed it now, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and then there was no rush, but it happened anyway. And then in 2 weeks she wrote an Oscar award-winning piece of music. And then now Barbie, and then she wrote that, and then now it's another. So she's 2 Oscars in for being 22.
Good Lord, she's only 22.
22, recently 22.
Wow. Now I will say I watched Barbie, and I think that song, I don't know, it's at some point in the movie. I can't remember if it's in the middle or the end credits, but I was like, I personally was like, this is a solid song. It kind of gets you, it grabs you.
Both of them, both the one for No Time to Die, and then I haven't heard that one. The one for Barbie. They're both like, I can't hate on her. I don't hate on her in general. I think she's a fantastic artist. She's fine. Actually, she's much better than a lot of the other pop artists that are. I mean, she's like, I will go to sleep on Taylor Swift. I will go to sleep on Lana Del Rey. I will go to sleep on all these. I don't care about it. But Billie Eilish, I would hear her and I'd be like, I like this. I'm following her. I don't think she's personally. I don't think she's like but I'll give her her respect and flowers. And now she's got forced. There's no way around it. I have respect for her. She wrote for Bond. She got an award. She wrote for Barbie. She got an award. What am I gonna say? She's.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say when I saw that the song was like, I think nominated at like the Golden Globes or something, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be nominated for Oscar and she's gonna win, because I looked at all the other songs and I was like, there's just no other. Just personally, from a music standpoint, just listening to the songs and like, what do I like? That one stood out like a mile from all the other ones, and so I was like, yeah, and they didn't nominate anything from The Color Purple, which that's a shame. But yeah, I was like, she's got this in the bag. It's a solid song. It's really good.
Because just like the No Time to Die, it's not dressed. So that's another thing that I like. Sometimes.
Well, what do you mean when you say it's not dressed? What do you mean?
Completely, like it's minimal.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So especially Barbie, very minimal. The piano and some synths, but it's just her voice. Her voice is
very simple.
The number one element, and so that's what that adds to the respect. It's like she's not coming in with a synthesized voice or like poppy or it's she's singing her heart out, and it's good. I can't I can't deny it. I can't dog it.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing really well, and she's only just
Yeah.
getting started.
Yep.
She just needs to write a few Broadway stuff,
Get
and
her
whatever, or
Tony.
do some TV shows, and then she's gonna get EGOT
Yeah.
also as the youngest person to have an
Exactly.
EGOT at probably 24.
Yeah.
um,
We'll see. We'll see.
did you know that Kate Middleton has been missing?
So I've been hearing about this. I've been very selective with
I just heard this today.
well, so I heard like a small piece. Like I think I saw a headline about Kate Middleton hasn't been seen. Then something to do with like she had surgery. Then today I checked Twitter and like she was a trending topic because apparently they put some picture out and it was Photoshop, and like her Twitter account said that like I was messing around with Photoshop, and everybody's like, the
Yep.
hell. So
Yep.
I've been hearing stuff, but I'm like I'm not invested because I'm like I'm trying to I'm very selective on like what I'm giving my time and energy to. Um, so I'm like,
I mean,
what I'm really waiting for. I'm like, I'll hear about this eventually. Like once
mm-hmm.
everything gets figured out, then I'll hear about it. I don't need to go investigating and like myself. But anyways, continue.
Exactly. I don't need to be on top of that. No, well, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I just found out today, and it was through work. Like my boss, she was like, "Have y'all heard about Kate Middleton?" And we're like, "Was she dead? Like what
Exactly.
happened?" Like, "Oh, she's been missed." You're like, "I don't know." Oh, she's been missing. And I'm like, "Missing?" And then
Mm-hmm.
we talked about it. We like I was looking into articles like, "Oh, it does seem a little. Yep, it does seem a little off."
Mm-hmm.
When all she would have to do is make a little video post, like, guys, I'm okay, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
instead, or nothing, and kept it low key. She did. I saw that photo, and I was like, it's not even photos. It's AI'd, like in the modern way that AI is
Mm-hmm.
being used for photos,
Yeah.
um, which makes it even more weird. But whenever we talk about royalty in the UK, I always have to roll my eyes because you're not talking about real people. I mean, they're real, but I mean, it's not like they're not really a queen
I know.
or a
Yeah. Now that you
princess
say that, it's
or a
like,
prince. They're not real.
yeah, like they're just kind of famous to be. They're like a Kardashian. They're just famous to be
Yep.
famous.
Yep.
Like they're not doing anything. They've done nothing to call for us to know about them or given us reason to care about them. It's like they're just there.
Yep.
And because they come from a
And of
line.
all this, yep, the
Yeah.
bloodline, and of all the speculations, it's like, well, yeah, it could be anything. I mean, there are like flesh and blood as in real people, and they have whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe they're getting divorced, maybe she's dying, maybe she's dead. Like I don't know, like whatever it um,
Mm-hmm.
is just like going back to just keeping all this tabs on a celebrity as much as possible, and we want to know exactly what's happening, and you know, um, but again, for like logical, normal celebrities, like a big name, like an actor
Mm-hmm.
that's huge. But these royal, I mean, anybody who is listening from the UK is like, how dare you speak? But I mean, that's just how people view royalty from the UK outside of the UK. Like, we don't honor these people,
Mm-hmm.
we don't consider them actual royalty at all. They're just, yeah, I mean, it's whatever you guys are calling them, and we just translate to, yeah, celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope her family's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
because they could all just be dead and they're hiding it
True.
because they need
Yeah.
the. It's back to like the Last Kingdom. Like we can't let the enemy know that we're weak,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
like otherwise it will come in and invade us.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm roped in. I'm sucked. I am into once again binging The Last Kingdom.
Such a great series.
He is just as sexy as he was
I
when I
know.
left
Ooh.
him.
Everybody, almost every man in that show, who
Mm-hmm.
was his best friends, is two of
Yep.
his best friends, and I'm like, I'm in love with both of them. I'll take either one
Yeah.
of them.
There's one that always had like the like
Yeah, the little braids
braided
on the side.
hair.
Yes,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
he
yeah.
was in that movie Rebel Moon. Did you hear about that? That Zack Snyder film on Netflix.
I think I tried to watch it and I didn't
Yeah,
finish.
it's not. Yeah, yeah. I really wanted to like it because Ray. Oh my gosh, sorry Ray. I'm so sorry. Ray, who played Cyborg in uh Justice League, is in it, and yeah, Ray's a stand-up dude.
Fisher.
Ray Fisher, yes. I'm so sorry, Ray. But he's in it, and I really wanted to like it, but it was like, yeah, it just felt like it was just trying. It was really trying to be something. Anyways, the dude with the little braids on the side of his hair, he was in that movie, and I was like, ooh. Um, but yeah, love Last Kingdom.
I don't see him in the. Well, there's a lot of people. Oh, yep, there he is. Yep, cool. I did try to watch this movie. Now I remember because I remember the faces here, and yeah, I didn't finish it. Oops. Oops.
Okay, so the hotties from the Last Kingdom that I love, um, of course, Uhtred, Alexander Draymond, but then Mark Rowley or Rowley played one of his best friends, and then Arnis Federavičius or something. He's the one with he had like the braids. That's a beautiful man. Um, yeah, but I like a man with facial hair. So Mark has like the facial hair, and anyways, either one of them could get it. Or that 6'6"
Have you seen a
Link
picture of
could
him?
call me.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that photo. Have you seen what's his face? Well, the lead without facial hair,
I have,
and it's just
and
like, who are you?
exactly. Well, he just looks so little. He looks like a
Yes,
baby.
I've
Yeah.
seen him without facial hair, just like combed over, like like just a little part.
Yeah. No, I'm looking
You know,
right now. Yeah.
it's
He's
just like, who are you?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
need you to be with the long hair, ponytail, and a little bit of scruff
In a
at
little
all
scrub.
times, and a
Exactly.
sword packed on the back. Like I need you to be
At
walking
all
around like
times.
that at all times.
Agreed. Agreed.
So, grinder. Okay. Um,
Well, all right.
that was a forced segue, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm in Panama, and of course I've been opening my grinder and da 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 da.
Seeing what's around.
Mm-hmm.
Window
And
shopping.
exactly. Doing some more than window shopping. I'm doing some window buying.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
yep.
Found
No,
some things. Found some nice things you wanted to purchase. Okay.
Yep. Rent. Let's be real.
Ooh.
Nobody's buying anything. We're just renting.
Ooh. You say I'm just here for a little while. Just here for a little while.
And there are a few updates, I think, to how Grindr used to be in Panama and how it is today. I think the pandemic helped a lot when it comes to tech literacy. But it still holds true that the crippling machismo, the crippling, like, even in the United States, people are closeted. you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
DC area is probably one of the most closeted areas that there is.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, here I am in Central America and, you know, but okay, how many times have I gotten a message from a faceless, nameless, empty profile?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'll say, hey, what's up? How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Photos. It's like 2 lines in, photos. And then it's either silence or I'm not going to show them. I love I'm not going to show them because I don't even know you. I'm like, bitch, that's the point. I don't know you.
Exactly.
So I need
So why would
your photos.
Yeah.
And it's like we're caught in a loop. It's like, but he won't send me his photos because he don't know me.
Exactly.
Like, nobody knows anybody here. Like this is at the very, I mean, you could call whatever Grindr it is, but it is a social app to meet people.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're meeting for the first time, usually, you know.
Also, I feel like there's the unspoken rule of like, if you're the one messaging first and you don't have photos, well, then you need to send your photos. I didn't come talking to you. You came up talking to me.
Right.
So don't come asking me for photos before you send me your photos.
And like, send me like a photo, not like.
Exactly.
It's half showing your face, or you know, it's a very dark lit situation, or it's like,
I don't even want you with I don't even want you with shades.
No glass.
I want to see your entire face. Okay, don't put that camera in front of your face as you're trying to take the picture. I want to see your face because I'm showing you my face. Like,
and send that now, immediately, like at the top of the conversation, because it'll, you know, most of the time it leads to a block. Like I don't play too much, but you know, like sometimes I feel like a fucking bitch today, and I will fight you to the death to send me your photo before I even, because they'll be like asking questions. Where do you live? What role are you? Which is a classic question. They don't say that in the United States. They say like, you know, are you whatever? But here's role. They'll just say role question mark, like before even send me a photo or even anything. And I'm like, I'm not gonna answer any of that bullshit until.
I'm sorry, keep going.
Well, I was gonna say, can answer that.
Okay,
go.
I was just gonna ask because I was gonna ask, like, do you have, when it comes to role or anything really, but do you have that specified in your profile? Only because I'm getting at, people don't read. I have everything in my profile. I have everything in my
They'll
profile.
Ask me my age.
Yeah, I know.
Height, my location. They'll ask me all this. That. I'm like, I have a full
what you like
dossier.
To do. I'm like, I have a description. I got everything in there.
A whole thing that you can and my Instagram is attached. Like everything is ready to go for you to know all. But I'll still get the question. You know, how old are you? Where are you located? What's your role? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, all these questions are meaningless in the face of your blank, faceless profile. For all of millennia before, well, I mean, okay, unless you're blind, the first thing that you do is see somebody. Before anything else happens, you see that person. And so, like, you know, and you know, so the war I had the other day, I was like, look, you know, I basically got, and I had just said it how it is. Look, you could be whatever it is, role, right? You could live wherever you live in this world. But if you're ugly, I'm not going to talk to you. That's what it is. So send me your photo and let me judge, because you're telling me that you're handsome and cute. That's your perspective. My perspective will be whatever it is, because that's me. I'm a person needed to judge you. He sends me his photo eventually, and he was ugly as fuck, and I blocked him. But it was like...
I can't.
And it was like, that's okay too. Like, because a lot of people, I think, do also not put their photo because they think that they're not as attractive as other people. But like, there's always going to be somebody that thinks you're cute or
exactly.
you know,
And
like there's going to be somebody for you.
And also, I'm a big advocate for like, because even me myself, like I've had, well, one, you have guys where like because also a Grinder allows, if you don't know, if anybody listening, you don't know, you can create a album. So if you don't want to just put your picture on your profile, you can set up an album and you can keep all your photos in there. And it's good because the album, nobody can screenshot the photos. You can't even screen record, none of this stuff. So all your photos are safe. Yeah. So for all of you like straight men who are in the closet and worried about somebody taking your photos, nobody can. You
could also send an expired photo.
Exactly, that too. But the point that I'm getting at is that I'd also like to move more to a space of like, let's all just be honest, but you can be nice about it. You're not going to, I'm not attractive to everyone, and everyone is not attractive to me. And so it's okay to say like, oh, hey, you know, actually, it's just not really my type or whatever. But, you know, it's nothing about you.
Has somebody told me I'm not into you? And I'm like, that's okay. I'm not crushed right now.
Or well, that's the thing. I've had that, and I'll go a step further to say that I've one had people say like, hey, like, sorry, man, like you're just not really my type. I'm not attractive. Or I've told someone, hey, I'm sorry, to be honest, I'm just not really into you. And I've had people say, thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. I hope you have a great day. And it's like, yeah, like we don't have to, like, this can just be. It doesn't mean you're a terrible person.
Contract.
Like, yeah, like
nobody's signing anything.
Not even that there's not a contract, but like, just because I'm not attracted to you doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean like you don't need to feel any kind of way just because I am not attracted to you. There's multiple people out there. There are billions of people in this planet. There are multiple thousands of people out there who will find you attractive. So I'm saying this for like both ends, that it's okay for, it just makes everything better if like, yeah, you can just be honest now. And I totally understand, you know, this can get awkward and blah, blah, blah. But I do think that there's like, I'd like to move into a space of like, yeah, you can just be honest. Say like, hey, you know, not really into you, but hey, I wish you the best, but you don't need to waste your time on trying to get me because I'm not into you. So yeah, I'm like, can we?
And it also like, you know, how many times I've usually messaged, because I tend, obviously, like most of the time, I will message if you got a photo. You know, because I don't like to fight for. It's like it's such a you know, like unless there's a descriptor that I am, you know, interested in. It's like without a photo, I'm not going to say hello. So usually it's the other way around. So I'm getting message. There's no photo. And then I will, as always, you know, you got the saved phrases in Grindr. So I'm just like, do. It's the same conversation, right? Like, hello, how are you? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And it's all just saved. And then I'll be like, all right, send me your photo. And then they'll be like, I already sent you my photo. Which means a couple of things.
Yeah, I've never had that.
I've blocked them already. And they've made a new profile.
Now, those are the crazies.
Yep. They make... there's people here around that in Panama that are like literally making new profiles every day. Because I've blocked them yesterday and then they're back, and then I block them again and they're back, and it's like, oh God, you know, whatever. Or it's like, yeah, they'll just create a new account. Maybe I didn't block them, but they'll just create a new account, and then they'll just expect me to know somehow magically who I was talking to. Even if they sent their face before, there's no like username, you know, to people. It's just the whatever is in the profile, and you know, and again, if it's a new account and we were talking in another account, obviously there's no linking them, you know. It is fucking chaos when it comes to photos.
Is is the honestly all the I feel like all the times that this happened, it didn't even have anything to do with like their face. It was just like I don't know, something about them I didn't like. But um yeah, or people just coming off like too crazy, just doing too much. And I'll block people, I'll block someone, and then they come right back and say, "Why you block me?
Why you block me?
Blah,
Why you
blah."
block me?
Yeah.
And then you know what I do? Bam! Blocks just so fast. They don't even. They're typing still, and I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? Like, where do you think this is gonna get at? That oh, if you come with me with another profile, then I'm gonna be like, all right, I shouldn't have blocked you. Let's get together.
Whoops.
Like, yeah, like, I'm like, I've never understood
It's
that,
true.
but yeah,
It's
had that happen
true.
multiple times. I'm like,
Yep.
now I definitely don't want to get with you because you seem crazy. Like,
Now, there's something I did, and I never thought that would be possible, but I broke Grindr.
oh, you block like so many people? It was like you can't block anymore.
No, it wasn't that. It's just like my Grindr wasn't
They
working
used to
properly.
have that. They definitely used to have that. Anyways, oh, really? Like what? It wasn't letting you block?
No. It just like was like crashing. And I know like right now they're also doing some updates, but it wasn't that. It was like more severe. And then I even wrote to support, which I didn't ever think I
Oh,
was going to
wow.
do, write to Grindr
Right.
support. And they
I need
basically were like,
help.
you have blocked too many people.
Wow. I can't.
And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna unblock, right? And then I have blocked so many people that I couldn't unblock them myself. So I had to get support to unblock the
the block.
hordes of men, dude. I don't know how many thousands of people that were blocked in that account. It was impossible to count them all. I mean, I could scroll through them, but when it said unblock all, it would just be like error. The red bar like cannot whatever the error was, and I was like, oh my god.
Did you ask support why is there a cap on block
I think the thing of it is
profile?
we all didn't even know there was a cap until my bitch ass,
Digo.
who I block with pleasure. I block some people who I don't even want to. You know, I'll look at my Grindr right now and I'll be like, oh, this bitch looks like a bitch, and I just block them. You know, like I just keeping it clean.
Okay,
You know, just
so
cleaning it up. You know,
I don't pay for Grindr currently, so I have a lot of blocked. But it's kind of similar to that where it's not that I've talked to them, but I'm like I scroll down, and for those who don't know Grindr, like you can see a certain amount of profiles, and then it says like, hey, if you want to see these other profiles, it's
Give me the
extra.
money.
You have to pay. But and a way to get around that is so it's basing all of these profiles based on like distance. So if there's somebody who is like 3 profiles down who I'm trying to see, all I gotta do is block 3 profiles that I can see, and then they will pop up. And so there are so many times to this day that I will I'm going through just blocking a bunch like, ain't never getting with you, ain't never getting with you, ain't never getting with you. And then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now I can get to people who I actually want to see. So that's definitely happened to me. But yes, in the past, I have gotten that message like, you've blocked too many people.
Yeah, and that's
but that was like a few years ago. And now
Yeah.
they've opened it up again to where I at least I thought that it was unlimited blocking, but now you've let me know that there's a you can reach a
There's
point.
a technical, like you could stress the system so much, only so much until it just like
You just
crashes
do too much
on itself.
blocking.
But basically, I get it. It's like, you know, it wants to load up my version of my profiles, but I have
you
to
have to
cross all these
cross out
out,
all
and the
of these.
system is just like can't handle doing so much at the same time for me because I have blocked way too many people.
It's like there's
in
only
the
there's only
area.
5 men left for him. Okay, he's blocked all the rest. We can't show him nothing else. Okay,
And he's got his filters on.
it's like, all right, now we just got to start showing him men in other countries because
Yeah. Sure, whatever works, honestly.
Oh my god.
So one thing that was really extreme, I'd say 10 years ago when I was here in Panama, and that is a lot better now, but it is still just disappoints me when, in the 90s, you wanted to tell somebody where you were, where you lived,
Mm-hmm.
you had to be descriptive, you maybe even had
Or
to
you pull
print
out them yellow pages.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like print out MapQuest or like, like you had to
Mm-hmm.
okay, like where the Springfield Mall is, right? If you take 95
Mm-hmm.
north, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
Mm-hmm.
you get off at Etzel, like you have to
Oh, you're saying like
guide
that, like
them
trying to
to
tell someone how to
where
get to you. Gotcha. Yeah.
right. So now we're in modern times. So it's like, where do you live? Boop. There's my GPS point,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Current location.
10 years ago, it was way more intense. Like, whether it be Grindr or anything else, I would send a GPS point to somebody here in Panama. And I'm sorry, Panamanians, it's the truth. So I'm not. I will also recognize that it has gotten way better. It is not as bad as it was 10 years ago. But I would be like, with an Uber ride sometimes, and
Mm-hmm.
we're getting to wherever we're getting to, and the Uber's like, all right, so where are you going? Like, where do you want to be dropped off? And I'm like, just follow the, because
Yeah.
he's got the phone
Mm-hmm.
on in
Mm-hmm.
his car,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like guiding him to the point, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, just. One time I remember, I'll never forget. It's like the guy was so like, no, but where? And I'm like, when the little car icon is on top of the little square, stop the car. I had to be like that
Mm-hmm.
specific. I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, what is going on? Like, do you guys not get what this means?
Mm-hmm.
And so again, 10 years ago, I would send somebody a GPS point on Grindr, and they'd be like, I don't know what that is. I don't understand that.
Mm.
Nowadays, it's a lot better. Like, people are
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
they really, okay, things have changed. People have upgraded, but it still happens. It still happens. Every once in a while, somebody's like, where do you live? I send a GPS point, and they're like, I don't know what this means. I'm like, and
What do you
again,
think it means?
sometimes I feel like fighting. Sometimes I don't, and I just immediately block.
I can't.
I can't. If you're that inadequate in this way of technology, like, I don't think we can even hang out. Like,
Mm-hmm. It's understandable. It's understandable.
block. Other
He's like,
times
oh,
I feel like fighting.
you sound like you need to be taught, and I don't feel like teaching. That's not what I'm
Yeah,
here for.
exactly. It's like, what am I? So, how do you even? I would need to teach you this in person, But anyway, the tech literacy of some of the youths
Mm-hmm.
is baffling to me sometimes, because how'd you get past this? How'd you get to here? How'd you play this video game of life up until this point and don't know how to manage a GPS point? I mean, as one of
Mm-hmm.
the again, like I said, 10 years ago, it was way worse. And I would always say, you give a Panamanian a GPS point and they won't know what to do with it. You give a person from China, a person from Australia, a person from Russia, a GPS point in Panama, and they will get on a plane, fly all the way to Panama, get off the plane, get on a taxi, go to their hotel, drop off their luggage, get an Uber, and go exactly where that GPS point is. No
Mm-hmm.
other assistance required. You are 2,567 feet away from me. I send you a GPS point and you say, I don't know what to do with this. Is blows my mind. I'm just like, I can't with this. How do
Mm-hmm.
you live?
Exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Wild.
Wild. This
It's
has
literally the wild.
been
You would think that it's not the Wild Wild West, but it's still the Wild Wild West on on on
sometimes.
on Grinder. Yeah, it's.
Sometimes.
Also, I feel like the quality's gone down. The quality is not the same as it was 10 years ago on Grinder. I just want to throw
Because
that out there.
we got the new generations up in there and they suck.
I really guess that's what it is, because I mean, yeah, 10 years ago you could just find quality, and now it's just like Ugh. Next. Next. Next.
Thanks for listening to the Ants Human Stars podcast with Caleb and Digo. Stay connected and get updates about new episodes by visiting our website, antshumanstars.com, and by subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a positive rating and review, and share about us with your community on social media. Thanks, y'all. We really appreciate it.